To do this, we got to do it. Oh, well. Round up. What's up, my round-uppers? I don't know if you're here. Is you here? Greetings, Roundup family. Greetings. I got a million emails to send out here. Click these few buttons, and we're going to get rocking and rolling. I get so excited when I get to share this stuff with you that I learned over the years. I just get excited about sharing with you, bringing you over. Come on over. Come on over to the Unconventional. Did I spell it right? Probably not. Thank goodness you're not. Let me tell you, my mentor, Patrick Bet-David, gave me a book when I went to the Vault last year. Thick book. The guy's charging $100,000 for consultations, right? Misspelled words all through it. Made me feel comfortable about, and you know what? Lonnie Scruggs was the same way. Lonnie Scruggs like, man, don't worry about the misspelled words. Focus on the content. On the contents roundup. Make sure you go to the link below, get your documents. We're going to get rocking and rolling here very quickly. Roundup. This is Kris Haskins. I am in the business. I'm in the business of trying to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. Doing that, I do classes from time to time. I'm trying to do better at putting the word out so you can actually have some type of financial freedom in your life. What I don't like seeing is people that are 50, 60 years old still renting. And I'm not mad at you, not saying that it's good or bad. But I just want all of us to have something to pass down to our families over time, right? I see, 100 people round up. I'm honored that you're here. You allow me to pour into you as we focus. We're almost at 4.5 million subscribers. Get your documents. We're going to go over this very quickly. I know your time is valuable, and then get some questions answered in the Q&A box right there. As we enjoy this 72-degree weather here in Virginia Beach area. What is it? Let's roll. Let's do this. Round up. Why? First of all, why? Why do you want to buy houses subject to? Why do you even care, right? Why do you care? I remember when I was learning this strategy, what I told myself was, I'm going to get this wholesaling thing down, and then I'll figure out how to do some flips, fixing flips. Then I'll worry about this subject to thing later in my career. That's what I told myself back in 2005. Bad move. How many assets did I sell? How many assets did I give away to other investors simply because I didn't have the tools to actually take down the house, right? I didn't have the tools, the strategies, and the skills to be able to buy these houses subject to the existing financing, right? Why do we care about that? Because I'm going to show you where unconventional wisdom is going to, conventional wisdom, unconventional. We're going to go over this real quick because I need you to believe that this can work. I need you to believe first. If you don't believe this stuff works, then you won't even try it. All right. So conventional thinking, go out there, buy a house. You're going to need credit, right? In our world, unconventional way, we don't need any credit. I have yet to buy a house subject to where the lender asked me about my credit. I have yet to have it happen. Let me scroll up here. I don't care about my credit. They don't even ask. They don't even care. Next, tax returns. My rounduppers. How many times has a subject to deal has the lender asked me for my tax returns? The answer is 0. Never. Your tax returns, you don't even have to worry about it. You won't even bring those to the closing table. Conventional wisdom says you got to get a job. You got to have steady income in order for you to buy a house, possibly get a loan. In the unconventional world that we live in, the house that I live in, I'm here to tell you, if you want to see my deed, I'll show it to you. Matter of fact, maybe I will show you my deed here. You don't even have to have a job. You don't even have to have a job. Now, one thing I cannot teach you how to do is make the payment. I won't be able to do that. However, after you finish watching this class today, you will understand how to buy a property. No debt to income ratio. Lender doesn't care about your debt. You don't even sign personally for the loan. No, there is no DTI. If you think, Roundup, that the system is going to help finance your real estate empire, then I think you might need to think again. Because for me, one day the banks are going to turn you down. I remember I've lost 3 houses to foreclosure. I know you probably heard my story. I had a loan. They changed the terms of the loan. Your boy was done. So there will be a point in time where your debt to income will be a problem for you borrowing more money. All right. So make sure you download your docs because I'm going to go over this thing step by step. I don't want to leave anything out. And the good thing about well, let me rewind. In the conventional world, you got to do a lot of hoping and praying, right? A lot of hoping and praying. You got to go into the lender there. You're going to get on your knees. Your knees might get a little dusty. They might just get a little dusty. Over here, no prayer needed. You ain't got to pray for these type of deals. But you will have to have some skill, right? You must have some skill if you think that you're going to put these subject to deals together. All right. And the conventional world is limited. The system is only going to allow you to have so much debt. Unconventional, unlimited. We buy unlimited amount of houses. I mean, good gracious, even when I say that, it just gives me chills. Unlimited. You can't stop your boy. You can't stop me from buying houses subject to. We got 1, 2, 3. I'm just thinking of the deals that we've done. And if you don't want to buy it, you can always just wholesale it out, right? You don't have to hold on to it if you don't want to. I got to get a new eraser. My kids stole my eraser for their whiteboard. Round up. Let's do this today. I'm giving you 50% off of my subject to document packet in the link below. Go ahead and download it. Download those docs so we can go over them together. I got it right here. Your beliefs. Why is subject to such a powerful? Why is it so powerful? I'm so glad you're asking me these questions as I read your mind through the internet. Why do I care about subject to, right? Subject to. Let me rewind here. First of all, what is subject to? Subject to, you got to remember this statement. We're going to buy the house subject to the existing financing, right? We're buying these houses subject to the existing financing. Get your bearings out, right? Get your bearings. If you don't have one, just go to my site. You can download it right there. I think I make 5 pennies for every one that I might sell. Barron's book. I'm going to read. We're buying the property subject to the existing finances. That means we're going to buy it with the loan in place. Don't let anybody tell you that you have to pay off a loan in order to sell the house. We're going to cover that very briefly here too. And yes, before you ask, you can do this in every state except Virginia, the state I live in. Can't do it here. That was a joke. Round up. Subject to the circumstance in which a buyer takes title to a mortgaged real property but is not personally liable for the payment of the amount due. Let me repeat that. The circumstance in which a buyer takes title to a mortgaged piece of real estate but is not personally liable for the payment of the amount of the loan. I like the way that sounds, and I hope you do too. Do I have this on right? Hold tight. Camera, audio, speaker. Boom. I'm good. Let's continue here. The buyer, however, must make payments in order to keep the property. However, with default, only the buyer's equity in that property is lost. All right. So the opposite of that is assuming the loan. I don't want you going out there assuming no loans, qualifying for debt. Don't qualify for debt if you can help it. Now, I know I've been getting some emails, people saying, well, I got a good interest rate on the loan. If you can get a good loan, go ahead and just get the loan. You know, I don't want you to, merely because you do qualify for the loan, I don't want you to think that that's holding you back. If you qualify, you got a good interest rate, do the deal. You know, don't be like, well, Kris said you shouldn't get loans on houses. So why is subject to such a powerful thing? I got to frame this up before we get into the moving parts, right? Let's think about the 2 biggest purchases we're going to make, right? Cars and houses. Think about your car versus your house. So both of these but generally speaking in the public, generally speaking, we're going to get some debt to buy this. The problem with the car is the debt goes on the deed. Or let's say title. With your car, let me do this line, got my line here. With your car, so I have to frame this up for you so you understand what we're doing. With an automobile, the lender places the lien on the title, right? So therefore, in essence, it's marrying the debt with the car, right? So in order for you to sell this car, you have to satisfy that debt. You can't pass title, right? Keep this in mind. You can't pass title on this car until you satisfy that debt. Contrast that with houses, right? See, what we have done is muddied up loans and real estate together. This country has just muddied them up, put them all together, right? So in real estate, the lien does not go with the title, right? The debt. I want you to understand why this works. The master teacher said, have to explain why it works before we can get into the what and the how to, right? Why does this work? When you get a deed, when someone, don't forget, selling a house, my round-up family, my real estate round-up family, selling a house is nothing but the seller signing the deed, deeding it over to you. I'm going to repeat that because I want to drive that home. When you sell a property, has nothing to do with the money, nothing. You can sell this property, ownership on this property can transfer names without satisfying this debt because the title, the deed, if you will, does not show who the lien holder is, as opposed to the car. So the debt goes on the title. When you have a car title, the debt does not go on the car title. So you can transfer that deed on the house a million times and keep that one loan in place. I feel like I have to repeat that again. You can transfer the title on a house without satisfying the loan. So when someone says, the next time you hear someone say, well, I have to at least pay the loan off before I sell it, you know in the back of your mind what 99% of most Americans do not know, and that it is not true. You do not have to satisfy the loan to sell a house. Oh my goodness, I'm getting chills when I think about it. Oh, Jesus, I get chills when I think about that stuff. So now you have been informed, round-up family, from this day forth, from today forth, you have been informed that you do not have to pay for the loan in order for you to sell the house. Why would someone do this? Why would someone want to do this? I know you're saying there is no way somebody is going to sell me their house, keeping their name on the loan while you make the payments here on out. You know what I'm doing too? I'm going to give you, is it a discount? I'm giving you a discount on my negotiating too, so you can learn how to negotiate these. Oh man, did I do that right? Sorry, y'all. Let me make sure I'm giving you my negotiating audio. Shoot. Sorry about that. Let me check it real fast. Make sure it's on. Sorry about that, roundup. Please forgive me. Subject to. Because you have to have some magic words in order for this to work. You have to have some magic words, right? Because you can't just go in. Yeah, we got it right. All right. So yeah, $99. I'm giving you like 65, 70% off of my negotiating audio. So you'll know the magic words to sprinkle on your seller when you show up for the closing, right? You got to know what to say. You have to know what to say when you show up. You can't just show up and be like, we're going to buy your house subject to. Please. Oh my Jesus. Do not tell a seller you're going to buy their house subject to. We call that technical jargon. We use that in the industry. We do not communicate that with our sellers. We have specific language, which I'll get into also. But why would someone do that? So many reasons, roundup. They have a house. They have a don't want her house. You do not want to deal with this. Our sellers just don't want to deal with the house anymore. Don't want us. The one I'm living in, 4 people had tried to buy it. The seller was like, we already showed it to 4 people, but they didn't want it. The reason I took it over because I knew I was looking for a place to live. I knew. Let me tell you, before I moved in this house, I knew I wanted to buy a house. I didn't want to use my credit. I knew I didn't want to show my tax returns. I knew that I didn't want to walk into new debt. I didn't want to sign personally for the debt. So it was almost like I was putting a dot on the board and creating a bullseye around that dot. Zig Ziglar says, that's how you get what you want. Create the dartboard around the bullseye and you hit it right in the middle every time. It's so cool how that works. I knew for me, I didn't want to sign for debt. And I'm saying that's just personally. I'm not saying you have to do what I do. And I have to make sure I do my disclaimer. I'm not an attorney, not an accountant. I'm not giving you any professional or legal advice. This is simply for educational purposes only. So don't be trying to sue me. This is just educational. It's educational. Got so many books here, references. So why would they do it? Because they don't want to deal with the house. Another reason is they have no equity round up. Typically and generally speaking, if a person has a big chunk of equity, we call it a lot of meat on the bone, they want to get some cash. Now, that's not to say that you can't give them cash for their equity and then take over the loan subject to. But subject to the existing financing can be used in a whole lot of different ways, right? And what I want you to do is when you're looking at houses, just add this to your toolbox, because not every deal is going to be a high equity wholesale. I know just a lot of on the internet, I see everybody's just focusing on wholesaling, which is cool. I'm not mad at wholesaling high equity, but from my experience since 2004, the majority of the leads that come in, they're not going to have big old chunk of meat on the bone for you to wholesale, right? So just add this tool to your toolbox. Why not? All right. So why would they do it? They have no equity. They're not really ready to get there. They know they're not going to get much money, because if they have a $200,000 house, they have realtor fees, closing costs, they have repairs they have to do to when they sell to an end buyer. With you can give them the cash for their little bit of equity, move on down the street, right? Move on down the street. I love it. So get your questions answered, get your docs ordered. We're going to go over the docs in a few seconds. So now you understand why subject twos work. And we live in a world, the unconventional world. Don't be coming over here telling me you can't do that. You can't do that. I love it when they say that, because we're doing it every day. We're doing it every day. All right. And my favorite way to do these roundup, pre-foreclosures. Pre-foreclosures. If you can identify your pre-foreclosures before they go to the steps. Why do I love pre-foreclosures? Because it is high stress. High stress. Your sellers usually and generally speaking don't have any other option but you, right? So when you walk in the door, they probably already talked to a realtor. They don't have enough equity to do the deal, because the first thing the realtor is looking for. I love my realtors, not realtor. I love my realtors, right? It's hot. Got some new lights. I love my realtors, but the first thing you guys are looking for, right? How am I get paid? How's the brother gonna get paid if I list your house? And if the house has no equity, if you owe 180, right? If you owe that, and the house is only worth, let's say, 190. Let's rewind. This should be ARV. ARV is 190. How is the realtor going to get paid on that deal on both sides? Basically, they're not. They're not. But what you can do with a subject to, you can take over this 180, right? And then give them $5,000. It is truly amazing how you can just get up. You can help homeowners with this strategy roundup. I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about subject to, because you're going to walk in here and say, you know what, Mr. Seller, I know it looks like you won't be getting any money on this deal, but how about if I could change this around, as opposed to, let's say the realtor fees are 6%. What's 6% of 180? What was it? 612. Let's say 10 grand, or roughly 10 grand. Roughly, right? Let's say 6, 12. Yeah, roughly 10 grand. Let's say they have closing costs, right? To get out of it 3%. Well, 4% closing costs. Because we have to pay the buyer's closing costs and the seller's closing costs, right? That's going to be 4, 8. Let's say 6,000. I don't know. Closing costs. I don't know if these numbers are perfect. You guys can do your perfect numbers if you like. So if the house is worth 190 and they owe 180, it's going to cost them 16,000 in fees. That's just the start. Forget repairs and all that, anything that's on top of this. So a typical seller is going to be looking at this situation like, you know what? I'm going to have to bring money to closing. I'm going to have to bring money to closing roundup. So what we do is we say, you know what, Miss Smith, as opposed to bringing money to closing, how would you like to get a check at closing? Oh man, so you're going to open up a world of opportunity for them too, for your seller too. We give them $5,000. Look, we'll give you $5,000 to walk away, or whatever. You don't. I made a mistake last week in making a seller an offer, which we never do. We ask questions and let them present us with offers, right? We ask questions and let us present. How much do you need? Don't tell them I'll give you $5,000. Ms. Smith, how much do you need to walk away? How much do you need? That way you're going to take over that debt, give them $5,000. Do you think that will be a good day for your seller? Do you think that would be a good day? I think so. I think so. So, man, I get so excited when I talk about subject 2. So today roundup, we're going to go over the docs. There's only 4 documents that you need. And don't be putting them all together when you go meet the seller. I got my inner circle guys. Inner circle members, do not get all these documents together and show up. All you need is 2. You need 2 docs when you show up. You need 2 documents. Don't be trying to get your seller to sign all this stuff. We're going to give these documents to the attorney that's closing the deal. Let me repeat that. If you think you're going to find an attorney that's going to give you some subject to documents, it's not going to happen. They're not going to put themselves out like that. But what they will do is close the deal using your documents, which you have to give them. We have to actually give the attorney and title company these documents because they don't keep them on file. When you show up, you're going to give them a stack of docs. They let them close the seller. Let them close the seller. You don't close it. Let them do it. Now, I will tell you, I have done subject to deals in someone's house. I have done it, but those are the deals where I'm like, I don't care if I keep this deal or not. And a lot of times we just let them go. Just let them go. Matter of fact, yeah, we've just let them go, or we sold them. We sold them very quickly. I'm not recommending you to close them. They called it tabletop closings when I started. You can just buy somebody's house. Don't forget, buying a house is nothing but them signing the deed. They can sign the deed anywhere as long as the notary is there. So we get the mobile notary to show up for that, right? Oh man. Okay. So the first document you're gonna need when you get rocking and rolling, my rounduppers. First document is going to be the standard authorization. Well, let's just call it your authorization to release. That's not standard. I call everything standard. Oops. I'm telling you, writing on this board is no joke. All right. You don't need to put all these together when you meet with them, but you will have to get this joint signed. It has to be signed. So let's read over what this document does, right? The first document, you have to have the authorization to release information because this is what you're going to give to the lender when you, okay, so let me rewind. Forgive me, I'm just busted. So what happens is when you call somebody's mortgage company or some creditor on behalf of someone else, they're going to be like, well, who are you and why should we talk to you? They will not speak to you unless you have approval from the borrower, right? The borrower or the debtor. So you get the authorization, and we call it the standard authorization to release. Let me see if I can pull that up. Did I close it out? Sorry, y'all. Okay, let me pull it up. Oh, here we go. All right. So you have the authorization to release. It's going to allow you to speak to the borrower, speak to the creditor on behalf of the borrower. So let's see what it looks like. Simple stuff. Just pull it out, Roundup. You already go ahead and download it. I'm giving it to you half price, and you can get my all 11 negotiating audios for $99. I mean, I'm giving it to you, and this will end today. This is over today. Roundup. So let's look at this doc here. Boom. All right. So the first document is standard authorization to release. Dear sir, ma'am, I give my permission for you to release any information to Chris to, you know what? You got to take your name off of that. I recommend you to take your name. Put the company name there. Why do we want the company's name? Let me tell you what happened to me when I started. I used to put my name on it, right? And then I would have business people that I was dealing with, and then they couldn't call. So you want to just put the company name down, right? Just put the company name down there, and you have to get it signed and make sure you put the borrower, and you're going to have to put the social. You're going to need the social security number, right? You're going to need that social security number in order for this document to be valid. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, what if my seller didn't want to give me a social security number? Well, I always tell them, listen, I need you to fill this out so we can help you. Unless I get this thing filled out and signed, all of this stuff, see, people will sign it and they're happy to give you their social. But it's all about the way you present it. It's all about the way you present it. So when you ask them, listen, I'm filling out this document so we can talk to your bank and find out exactly what numbers you owe. And I need your social security number. Notice the words, and I'm presuming that they're already going to give it to me. Or I'll say, you know what, I'll fill it out. And always when you're in the home with them, you fill out the document. You take your clipboard, you have it on your leg there, on your lap, on the table. You ask them name, borrower, address. You write, and then social security number. Look up. I don't give it. If they don't want to give you the whole social, just get the last 6. That's one of the things you may not get. I mean, shoot. Okay, next doc, purchase and sale agreement. Okay, now these are the only 2 docs that you're going to need when you meet with the seller. All the other documents we're going to go over are going to be given to them by the closing company, the attorney or title company, but I recommend using an attorney. So let's look at the purchase and sale agreement, right? We use our standard, everything is standard, purchase and sale agreement. You have to have lines on your, well, I call it contract today with you guys because you guys are on the end. Let's say on your contract, you have to have a place that's going to say, this is a subject to, right? So what does that look like? I'm so glad you asked that. So let's pull it up and see what our subject to contract looks like. All right, so let's go over that together. Let me share this with the screen. Sorry about that. So much to share, so much to share. So this is your basic, your standard contract. I forgot to highlight that. You better not be buying these things in your name. You better be using, how I call it, buyer. Just put owner of record. Owner of record. You do not need to put their name on the first page. I'm sorry, seller. Buyer, your name, address, property, legal description. Y'all know how to do that. Here is where the magic comes in for your subject to. Here's where the magic comes in, rounduppers. Now, don't forget, if you're just joining us, if you're just joining us, we're going over how to buy houses subject to the existing financing. Build your real estate empire. Okay, so the first thing here, generally we pay people about, if they have no equity and they just don't want anything, I still give them $500. And this lady here, I gave $523. I don't know if it was a lady or a man. I just rather deal with my ladies than you guys get too much testosterone. So purchase price, $523, right? Scroll down, still going to give them $100 here. And if you don't want to give them anything, you can always just put approximate loan balance. All right, now down here, line, I should put some numbers here. You got your line here where you're going to say the approximate loan balance, approximate 81,000 subject to the existing loan. So we're taking over this. This contract is, we're buying this house subject to these existing loans. Now this house here had 2. So you see, notice that I've got both loans here. This was crazy. I took on both of these loans. It's amazing how I can still, I'm looking at these numbers here. I have since then paid this stuff off, some of it. Just amazing when I look back in time. So this seller is going to get at the end $423 payable on delivery by cash or certified bank check at closing. That's what they receive, right? And you can put your title company here, or attorney, whoever you use. Check. And if you are completely broke, you can put let me tell you what happened, what I used to do, because I didn't want to put any earnest money up. You can have your earnest money to be held as a note by the escrow agent. You're talking about gangster. Held as a note. That's basically saying, I owe you, the title company, an earnest money check. Isn't that cool? So you don't even have to put the money up. You can have a note. You can just create this note and says, Kris Haskins owes American Escrow Title $100 for the earnest money deposit. If you want to get really no money out of your pocket, you want to be really gangster with it, but that's if you don't want to. So those are the lines that you must have. You must have if you are buying houses subject to. Let's see what else we got on this doc here. Okay, let me scroll down. I'm not giving you guys like to copy my stuff from the internet. A lot of this stuff here is just jargon, but other terms, unless all persons whose name appear at the beginning of this agreement sign it on or before whatever blank, because you want your contract to have a time on it, right? And then your land trust owner of record. Now here we go. Buyer and seller agree that the property is and will remain in current condition until purchase. Buyer shall pay all closing costs for seller. Now, in order for you to make this thing work, generally speaking, you're going to be the one putting up all the money for closing, because usually the seller, they're not getting much anyway. And then when you hit them with another $1,000, yeah, it's going to be squeamish. But here's the thing. Keep in mind, you're getting a free house. I'm sorry. Not only are you getting that, but you're getting free financing, because we're taking over that debt that we never even qualify for, right? So you don't even deserve it, Roundup. You don't even deserve it. So these two documents here are the only two documents that you need at the beginning of your transaction. You're going to take that, the purchase and sale agreement, and the authorization to release, start interfacing with the lender, find out exactly what they owe, their monthly payment. Does it include principal, interest, taxes, and insurance? What else? How much are they behind in arrears? And the kicker here is you got to know the loan terms. When does this loan mature? Or is it an ARM? I've seen people take over mortgages subject to, and they have an adjustable rate. So you need to know exactly what you're getting into, just in case you sell it to somebody, you know what you can pass on, right? All right, so let's get into some disclosures, right? Roundup, download your docs here on your left. I'm sorry, get your questions in on your left. Download the documents, my subject to docs. The discount half price will end tonight at midnight. All right, the next step. I got about 10 more minutes on this keynote / rant that I like to do. The next step is going to get your seller to closing. You verify the loan. You verify the purchase price, which is, in this case is $523. You verified all the terms of the loan. Now, when you get them to come to closing, that's when you have your attorney / title company give them the rest. You have to have a power of attorney. Let's do this. I'll put a line here. I'll put a little line there so I want you to know these are the two. I got to tell you, I don't know how many times I got my clients are at the house with the seller, and then they say, well, I've got all these docs. How do I get the seller to sign it? The answer is you don't. Do not try to convince anybody to sign this stuff. Leave that up to your closing company, okay? Your attorney. So these two docs are the only docs you need personally right now. So let's get to the docs that they're going to sign at closing, okay? Let's scroll down here. Now, I'm not going to really take too much time to go over a power of attorney, but I will show you what it looks like. Subject to. So we went over the power of attorney. So in the doc packet roundup, you get the limited power of attorney. You get the limited power of attorney, okay? You got to have one of these. You have to have one. So I'll just show you. Matter of fact, let me see mine. No, I'll show you a brief thing here, what they look like. What mine looks like is just a limited power of attorney. So let's do this. I'll share my screen with you. I don't even have it on. Okay. Oops. Sorry about that. So what we're going to do is have them sign a limited power of attorney. Why do we need this? It's detrimental. Now I have bought houses where the seller, poor thing, the seller is either in a nursing home. They can't even, they aren't able to even comprehend what's going on. So you're buying the house from the heirs. So you may not be able to get a power of attorney from your seller. All this says is that I, seller named, county of blank by blank, reposing special trust and confidence in Kris Haskins. That's all it is. And you put the street address and the street legal description, and it's over. So you have your power of attorney, so you can talk, you can interface with the mortgage company at any time. You can change the mailing address if you like. The other thing you can do is interface with the insurance company. You can walk right in with that power of attorney. You can either close that insurance down, get a new policy, which is what I do, get a new policy, add them to it. So the power of attorney is crucial when you're dealing with these subject twos, okay? Get your questions in, rounduppers, your questions in, disclosures. Make sure I spell this right. 2Ds, yeah, 2Ds, addendums. And disclosures. Spell that right too. I always spell that wrong. Disclosures. Addendums and disclosures, aka, I know, well, Ron LeGrand and all my mentors call it a CYS letter, cover yourself letter. These are the letters that you must have. You must have these in order for you to close a subject to deal. No attorney is going to close it without this stuff, because your seller has to understand what they're walking into. Let me repeat that. You will not be able to close a subject to deal unless you have these disclosures and addendums, because your seller must know what they're walking into. As long as they agree to it, you're good. You're good to go. The problem arises in real estate when slimy investors try to do deals backhandedly and not tell the seller exactly what they're doing. That's what gives us all a bad name. Okay, so get your docs. We're going over the subject to docs right now. I got two more for you. Two more. So already we got an authorization, purchase and sale, power of attorney. Now we're going over the addendums. Is it one? How many left? Disclosure. Oh, release. Authorization to release. Now I'm grouping these together. I'm going to go over them together. Wow, this is it. We're almost at the end, y'all. Now I can't explain all this in an hour, so don't be trying to do this without some type of assistance. Okay. Pull up your addendum here. I'll show that to you. Why not? I'll show it. Shadow disclosure. Updated CY letter. I want them to know exactly what they're getting into. So go ahead. This is going to be your addendum. Bring up your addendum, my rounduppers. Bring up your addendum. Oh my goodness. Between seller and buyer, they're going to just sign it right at the top, right? Seller hereby acknowledges that they are conveying whatever property you're buying, subject to, they're going to sign this. Now, this is, okay. Now don't forget, the framework that I'm giving you here is when they sit down with your closing company or attorney. They're sitting down and they're going to read over the attorney's going to read this to them, not you. You do not read this to them, okay? You get your attorney to do this. Property subject to the existing financing. Buyer shall start making seller's loan payments starting blank. Now, hopefully you have negotiated a month or two for the seller to make the payments, because they're making the payments on an empty house anyway. Unless you're like me and you just want to get into an owner occupied. So sometimes you like, listen, I'll make all the payments. I'll take over the debt. I'll give you some money. Like if I like the house I'm living in now, we took it over. I was extremely accommodating to the seller because I wanted a house for my family. Okay. My wife on back. The buyer shall start making loan payments. Okay, seller hereby acknowledges that because their existing loan on this property may have a due on sale clause, the existing lender can and well may demand that the existing loan be paid in full merely as a result of this transaction. Okay, so what is the due on sale clause? So glad you asked again there. Let's pull it up on Barron's. Due on sale. Just because I don't want y'all to think I'm making this stuff up. Due on sale. DU. Due on sale. DUE. Here we go. Let's read it, rounduppers. What is the due on sale clause? This is the first thing I want to address with them. Due on sale clause, a provision in a mortgage that states that the full amount of the loan is due upon the sale of the property. I'm going to repeat that. The due on sale clause is a provision in a mortgage, or the existing mortgage, that states that the full amount of the loan is due upon the sale of the property. So the lender may call the loan due. Keep that in mind, y'all. You got to reprogram your mind. I'm all up in your mind today. Got to reprogram you. The lender may call the loan due. Does that mean that they will? Does that mean that the lender will? Think about it. Would you, in this climate, call a loan due merely because the title transferred? If you're getting payments each and every month right on time, I can't answer that for everybody, but for me, I'm good. As long as the money's coming in, I'm good to go. All right, so we know what the due on sale clause is. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Start. All right, we're down here now. The seller understands that should lender choose to call the loan due, buyer and its agents, heirs, partners, employees, and assigns, because remember, we may assign this to somebody else, may not have the resources to refinance the property, nor shall it be buyer's responsibility to secure new financing in the event of any future events. Furthermore, buyer has made no promises to seller that the loans will be assumed or paid off by the buyer and that the loan will still appear on seller's credit report. I want them to know, Roundup, that this will be on your credit. You are selling me the house and it's staying on your credit. I want to be straight up with them. Tell them. Seller hereby agrees to hold buyer and all of their partners and or assigns totally and completely harmless of any fault, liability, or harm, either direct or indirect, should this happen. So we're not trying to mislead anyone. We're not trying to pull the wool. None of that. I don't want anybody to think that what I'm doing, you didn't know. You didn't know what's going on. And you signed off on it. The bottom down here. Furthermore, seller agrees that they will not commit any action or make any statements orally or in writing that will cause the existing lender to discover title has been transferred. So you got your disclosures here. Some more stuff you got to have. We're pushing time. Round up. Get your agreement signed. Another seller disclosure. Seller warns that there are no judgments threatening the equity of this property and that there's no bankruptcy pending or contemplated by the current title holder. I don't even want you to be thinking about bankruptcy because that could possibly jeopardize my financing, right? Seller is not confused with any portion of this agreement and is not impaired by any mind-altering substances at the time of signing this document. Round up, you got to have your bankruptcy statement here. Got to have your bankruptcy statement. Oh, and Jesus. You got it down. Your masters. What is it? Ninja Warrior Negotiating Masters. You got to make sure you disclose. I have yet to meet an attorney that will come up with this stuff. However, they will sit your sellers down and explain it all to them. Okay. Sellers and disclosures, 1, 2, 3, 5. You got it. Now you will need your land. I pray to God that you're not buying houses in your name or in your company name. So you will need your trust agreement to put this deed into, so you can get that here or somewhere else. So once they sign off on these disclosures, you get the deeded into your trust. Now you have the power of attorney. Did I put that up? Oh yeah, we got that. You got the power of attorney, so you can negotiate with the bank, with the city taxes. You can literally speak on the seller's behalf anytime. I remember one time I paid a subject to loan off. They mailed me a $2,000 check from the escrow account for taxes and insurance that they had already paid. So I got this $2,000, right? I'm like, man, it's in the seller's name. I took my power of attorney to the bank. They allowed me to cash this check, $2,000, no problem. So you should get the power of attorney. Round up, get your questions in, download your docs. We went over this stuff here. Simple stuff. I don't want to say easy to do, but not simple. Easy to do, but not simple. Get your questions in. Let's do I'm coming to the end of my keynote/rant for you. Let's see what questions you got for your Q&A. My favorite way to buy houses is, now after we buy them, very quickly before I get to the Q&A, after you buy them, we dispose of them. Well, what we do is dispose of them using lease options. So you're going to lease it with an option to buy. I highly recommend you to do that unless you live in Texas. And that way you're just going to do an owner financing with a trust deed, all-inclusive trust deed. Round up. Thank you for joining us today for our Subject to Masterclass. Go below, get your discount on your docs. Mark, put your state and your name when you please put a question in, put your name and your state that you're coming from. Chris, if you purchase a property through a land trust, does it disqualify you as a first-time home buyer? Do you recommend doing FHA if you already have necessary ducks in order to buy now? Mark, I think we might be misconstruing credit with a land trust. I think we might be mixing those together. Now, just because you own a house, remember, man, Mark, we got houses. And on this side, we got money. You can own a house in a land trust. But that doesn't mean the lender has required you to, that doesn't mean that the lender has not required you to sign personally for the loan. Personally. So Mark, where's that at? Where you at, Mark? Just because, can't see. You can own the house in a land trust. It doesn't matter how you own it. What the lenders and mortgage companies and banks are looking for is that this loan is personally in your name. I own houses round up, Mark, in land trust that I have bank loans on. They don't care. But that's the lenders that I'm dealing with. However, if they don't care whose name it is, but you're signed for that debt. So owning it in a land trust is irrelevant to the lender if you've already signed for the debt. I mean, yes, it is going to hurt you regarding being a first-time home buyer. Yes. But just because you own it in the land trust, I don't think that's irrelevant. Oh man, we're praying for you, Daniel, down there with those tornadoes. Good gracious. Roundup, take a minute and subscribe to your boy's channel if I'm helping you out, if I'm serving you. Give me a thumbs up too. Give me a thumbs up. Oh man, from the Bay Area. Hey Roseanne, I'll see you next month in Vegas. So excited to be going to Vegas next month. Hanging out with Ron LeGrand. Who is this? Tony, hey, thank you so much for your love offering. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. I'll see you next month too. Who's that messing with my gray hair? You're right. All this is gray. My wife makes me, I married a younger woman. She makes me diet. Your boy is, James, I wish I knew ET. I did get an email from them today. I'm working on getting them on my channel. I'm working on getting them with them. Financially illiterate realtors. You're crazy for that. Thank you, Chris. Yes. Oh, yeah. The code to get the discount. You have to use the code sub2. That's right. Use the code sub2 to get your discount on the packet below Roundup. 50% off. Use the code sub2. Thoya, what up? Why not just have them sign over equitable rights to an LLC and buy that LLC? Let me think about that. So they have a deed, they transfer it. What you're doing now, Thoya, is something called mergers and acquisitions. Mergers and acquisitions, Thoya. So you're going to put the house in an LLC, then you become the new owner of that LLC, and then they're off. You own the LLC. The house owns the LLC. You can do that. But either way, though, the debt is still there. You're still buying it subject to the debt. Either way, my friend. That's right. iHeartland, your equitable title, transfer the bank, keeps legal title. You're right. Angie B. So we don't pay them. We just pay their loan for it. We don't pay them. We just pay their loan for them. And whatever we charge extra is ours. Yes, you got it. So if you take the property over Angie B, say the rent, the mortgage payment, including taxes and insurance, don't forget that, is $800. You could rent it out for $1,200. You keep the cash flow, right? But you're still making their payments, and you better be making payments directly to the lender. Let me repeat. You better be making payments directly to the lender, because if you make the payments to the seller, who knows if they're going to make the payment to the lender, right? So yes, Angie, you make that. Please put your state so I know where you guys are coming from. You make the payment directly to the bank. I've gone into the bank and made a payment on behalf of a subject to house. You just go right in there and make the payment. They don't care who you are. You just make the payment. Non-recourse financing. That's right. Let me tell you about non-recourse ultimate bargains. I recently had to do a renewal. I'm doing a renewal with one of my lenders, right? I have to renew it every five years. I love you guys. My lenders, my bank, I love you. I'm not mad at you. Just don't want that to be our only option for buying houses. So they're asking me about my debt, and I've got all this subject to debt. They're like, that doesn't even count against your income. It doesn't even count. It doesn't even exist to them. They don't even care about it because it's not on your credit. It's just such an unbelievable world to live in like that. CDL study just got the Bible. Thank you. Realtor got hard copy. It'll be there in a few days, my friend. Real estate realtor Bible. Round up. Get your questions in here. What is the code negotiating course? There is no code for the course. I'm not doing that. If you get the docs, then you can get the negotiating course with it. But if you need that, just email it to me. I'll hook you up, brother. I'll hook you up. Angie B, what if the person has paid? What if the person's house is paid in full and they just want the full amount? Can they just be the bank and I pay them monthly? Yes, that's called seller financing, which is not what we're talking about today, Angie B. Colfrey, what is the exit strategy with a subject to? Excellent question. Excellent question. Well, my exit strategy for subject twos, lease option them out, get a down payment, do it over, right? Great question. Colfrey, exit strategies on subject two. We buy subject two, we sell lease option, or I guess you want to do land contract for deed, owner financing. You can do that. But you own the house, so you can do whatever you want. Though Colfrey, you can do whatever you want. I recommend you to get a down payment out of somebody. Probably going to sell it a couple times. So, I love you guys. Chris, Toyo, thank you so much for my love offering. Do you call leads yourself or use a VA? Both, actually. We'll use both. I'll call people. I got several appointments tomorrow to go to. I don't like it. Matter of fact, I need to get out of it. Rosanna, can you give us a sample breakdown when talking to a pre-foreclosure client? I'm trying to think. Okay, well, it all depends, Rosanna, on what they're looking for. For me, it's high stress, right? They'll be going to, what is it? They'll be going to foreclosure soon. So at the end of the day, it really all depends on what they're looking for. So the people we're looking for in three categories when I talk to pre-foreclosures. The people I usually deal with, they fall in three categories, Miss Smith. First one, they want to dig their heels in, stay as long as they can. They're going to just ride it out, and then they're going to see what the bank's going to do. That's the first. The second person, they want to try to get some money and to get as much money in their pocket before the foreclosure happens. This is the second person. And the third person, to be honest with you, they don't care what happens. Either way, they're just waiting for the bank to let them out. So which one are you? That's exactly what I tell them. Three people try to dig their heels in, stop the foreclosure. You want to stop it, do everything they can to stop it. Because don't forget, Rosanna, we stop the foreclosure too. First person, dig their heels in, stop the foreclosure. Second person, they want to get as much money as they can. They want to get as much money as they can before they move on. Third, they don't care. Let whatever happens, happens. So once they pick, say that the first one, they want to dig their heels in, stop the foreclosure, right? Then we'll do a self-filing bankruptcy. We'll help them file a bankruptcy. And then the second person, if they say, for instance, if they want to get as much money in their pocket as they can, but they may need a little time, we'll still stop the foreclosure with the self-filing bankruptcy. But then that's the one that we want. Those number twos are what we're looking for. Try to get that money so we can take over the debt and give them some money to move on. Number twos are what we're looking for. Threes, you can't help them. They're past. They're like, I don't even care. I'm done with this house. AV2 VA2. Thank you so much for your love offering. I'll get to your question now. If you got a love offering, I'll get to your question immediately. Do I have to have over $5,000 in capital to close these deals to catch up the mortgage? If you don't have the money, how can you get it? Also, I'm in Chesapeake. Oh man, what's up? You're in Chesapeake. Well, my friend, I need you to keep your money. If you got $5,000, $5,000 will be enough. However, it all depends. What is AV to VA? AV to VA2. My friend, it all depends. It's going to cost you about $300 to $3,500 to buy one of these. Oh man, oops. I can't put that on the screen. It's going to cost you about $3,000 to $4,000 just to buy it because you got to pay your closing costs and the sellers. So, damn, where is that at? Sorry about that, my friend. Did I not put that? Oh, here we go. There we go. Sorry about that. AV to VA2. 5,000. That's enough. If you don't have the money, you need to go to Fund and Grow. Hit me up. I'll give you a link to Fund and Grow. They give you these business lines of credit, and I have like a $500 discount link I can give you. But yeah, coaching, just Chris buys, email me at chrisbuyshouses@gmail, or just comment on any YouTube. Any of my videos has my email address at the end. Good question. Private lenders. This must be serious here. Hold tight. Go ahead, Bert.
Hey, just confirming something real quick. On the address that you sent me for the books, you have not shipped any of those, correct?
No, those 6, they have not been.
Like 15 or 16 of them, something like that?
It should be like 6.
That's what I first done when I opened the Word file. I just wanted to make sure when I opened the Word file, it's showing 12 more at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, those 12 are done. I sent you a new one. Those 12, we don't have to send to those 12. Those 12, I forgot to delete those.
6 that I have.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that roundup. I got to get these books out. I got the negotiating Bible going on. I'm so excited about that. Good question. AV to VA. Do I do that? I got that one already. CDL. Where can I get a pre-foreclosure list? They have been a challenge to find. Well, the first you need to find, you can go to the Yellow Letter Lady. The Yellow Letter Lady, they can hook you up with that. Every foreclosure that comes out in Virginia is publicized. So they come out in your local publication. You can get them there too. Either one. With the pre-NODs, go to the Yellow Letter Lady. They can get you that list. Javar, you don't always have to deal with realtors with subject to deals, correct? You don't. As a matter of fact, I highly recommend that you do not. I love you, my realtors. However, I want you to get educated on subject to, because you can help out these people that have no equity. I think that there's just a lack of education in the real estate community with my agents. Just think about if real estate agents understood the subject to strategy, they would be able to help more people out because they'd be able to sell their properties, right? But what's the first thing that the realtor is going to do when they say you don't have any equity? Bye-bye. They don't even want to mess with you, player. Kris, you're better than me liking realtors. I dislike 95%. You're right. You're right. Wow, I'm just getting on that. My realtors are marketers, not deal makers. Yes, sir. Renter realtor tax. Yeah. Oh, here we go, Francisco. Do these work in Oregon? They work in all 50 states except for the state that you live in. Yes, my friend Francisco, they work in every 50 state, my friend. Mark, what's the code for the negotiating? It comes along, you get the discount for the do y'all want to get the all right, let me do this. If you don't need the subject to docs, I'll go ahead and set you up. You can get the negotiating audio. Let me go and set you up with that too. Sorry about that. Get your questions in, Roundup. Thank you so much. Like this content, subscribe if I'm helping you. Subscribe if your boy is helping you. I'll give you a 60% discount. Let me create that. If you just need the negotiating audio, I will give you that too. Hold tight. I get another coupon for that. What is that? Hold tight. I'll give you that. The coupon code for that. What would it be? It'll be what coupon code could we use? What is today? Just use my name. We'll use my name. I'll give you so it'll be $99, right? So use my coupon code Kris. Just use the coupon code Kris to get that $200 off. Where is it at? Hold tight. Edit. Oh. If you just need the negotiating audio, I'll give you that too. 25. Go back. Oh. Round up, hold tight, get your questions in. I'm just trying to get these guys this coupon on here for the negotiating audio. It'll be good just for today. What is today? February 7th. Okay, use the coupon code KRIS. Use the coupon code KRIS for the negotiating audio. If you just need the negotiating audio, you can use coupon code KRIS, and it'll give you you'll get 60% off of that too. Probably 70% to be honest with you. I'll put that in here. Use coupon code KRIS. Use the coupon code KRIS for 65% off Ninja Negotiating 11 audio series. All right, there you go. Just wanted to do that for you too. Okay, Rosanna. Oh, just like 95%. Never accept no from someone who's not authorized to say yes. Get an appointment. That is true. We're going to the, you're talking to him. Ultimate Bargains, you better be there. I'm going to get you if you don't come, bro. James, looks like you went to Hampton University. I went to Virginia State. Good for you. I did, yeah. Kenny, what if there are multiple owners, like husband and wife? Doesn't matter. Property that I live here was husband and wife. They both have to sign the deed, right? And get them to both sign these disclosures. They both are going to sign the disclosures, okay? So, yes, you need to have them both there. Brian Knight. Sorry about that. Brian Knight. Thank you for your love offering, my friend. Do you do subject to an LLC or land trust? Always, always, always put your property in a trust, my friend. We do not buy houses in an LLC or in our names, okay? We always use land trust. Tanya, thank you so much. Thank you. I'll see you next month. Thank you. What have we got here? Mark, what we got? Mark, just thank you for the audio code. I need the proof of funds. I give those to my inner circle, or we can maybe work out something for you to that. Bay Area, what's going down? Ron, Newport News, does husband and wife have to sign subject to? Absolutely. They both have to sign, my friend. They both have to sign. If you got a super chat, we'll do your question immediately. And other than that, we'll get all the questions answered. If you do a super chat, we'll get your questions immediately. Okay, Roundup. What? Kenny, multiple owners. That's right. That's no big deal. We do them. I mean, it's no problem. We got to have the husband and wife show up to closing. They sign all the docs, and then they're gone. But don't forget, all you need is these two at the beginning. Okay? That's right, both of them. Get your questions in. Make sure you put your name and state. The only way pre-foreclosure will cease if you pay the past due balance, or you can just resume the payments. Depends, Roseanne. That's a good question. What happens is if they're too far behind and the lender has actually executed the foreclosure, then you will have to bring up the arrears. But remember in our addendums here, right? It says if they're not scheduled for foreclosure yet, it says buyer shall start making seller's loan payment starting blank. Okay. Sometimes we buy them. Matter of fact, this house here, I kept it in arrears for two months in arrears for a long time. But then I just thought I got tired of getting those letters. But yeah, you can keep it in arrears. There's nothing stating that you have to bring it current, and that's going to be in your disclosures. Okay. Excellent question, man. Round up family. You showed up for me. Make sure you put in your subscribe. Put your comments in here. Frank, what up, Frank? Did you say you buy a new insurance policy the day of closing and then add the seller to the new policy? Absolutely. That's what we do, my friend. We get a new policy. We add them as an additional insured. Let me show you I got my insurance policy here. I just got a file. I don't know if I had it back there. I should have had it up here. Here's just a file for my owner occupant, right? All my houses have these thick files. So you can see my name's on the front, Kris Haskins. And then on the back, got the seller's name, right? So I got a new policy because what the lender wants a policy. The lender wants a policy in the original borrower's name. Okay. So you have to keep some type of insurance on that lender's on that policy. From my experience, now I've heard other gurus say doesn't matter, but I just don't like people snooping. You know, I don't want to deal with it. So if you keep the policy, put their name on it, boom, you're done. Need the book? Oh yeah. Oh boy, we're out of books. I'm sorry. Denise, what if the seller wants to buy a property within the next 5 years and still have the property on a subject to? Do I disclose that in the addendum? I wouldn't. But what you can do is do a wrap. Just give them a wrap, which that will by default turn into seller financing. If you give them a wrap note, which I'm not covering today, that will cross out the debt. So say they owe 180, you're going to create a wrap note for 180, which will cover that debt. They can take it to a new lender, but that is something that you have to deal with. That's right, Kenneth. You're better off doing a wrap. Angie B, is it better to do this with an LLC or is it okay to do this with your name? Never, Angie B. We never, ever, ever buy houses in our name. Angie, you got to come on over. You got to come on over. Kirk, doesn't the land trust prohibit the due on sale clause? Yes, but then you could get, I think when, say you did put it in a trust, right? I think that one could misconstrue attempting to commit fraud by putting it in a trust. I remember hearing Bill Brunchick say putting it in a trust and then trying to disguise that transfer by changing the beneficiaries, Kurt. So, and I used to do that. What we used to do, we put it in a trust, then transfer the beneficial interest from the seller over to us. I just got tired of doing it like that. So now we just put it right in the trust. So we're still transferring the beneficial interest, Kurt. So could I use your coupon? No, CJ Wilson, we're not having the coupon for lease option today. Negotiating course is just use Chris. The coupon's in the video description below. Just use my name, Chris. Where do we go get that green book from? Just go to my website, the Barron's book. If you go to my website, it'll say recommended reading from Chris. Go right there. MR. Who asked that one? Melissa. Sorry about that, Melissa. Hey, nice picture. Oh man, it's very, very nice picture there. Do you pay finder's fee if someone brings you a deal? Absolutely. Yep. Pay up to $1,000. Mark, if I bought my property in a land trust, then through my LLC, then me, am I or am I not on record to take advantage of an FHA loan? Don't forget, it doesn't matter who's on title, Mark. Only thing that matters is if you're on your loan personally. I don't know how many loans you got in your name. Health and wellness, Keith, how long will the paperwork? It's available all the time. If you use the coupon code SUB2, you can get 50% off. But after today, it won't be on sale anymore. Jonathan, what's up, my friend? Do you need a lot of capital to do these deals to get the mortgage up to date if you don't have the? Yeah, well, I don't know what your definition of a lot is, AV to VA too, but I highly recommend you to have some money put aside for real estate, period. Like for me, I know I keep X amount of dollars, but I think one of the key or secrets, I was thinking today, I'm adding the list of millionaires. Ron, you're not going to believe, I got Ron LeGrand's phone number, right? I can't believe to tell you. He goes, Chris, I want you to take my cell. You give this number away, you die. So add some millionaires to your Rolodex, my friend. It's funny how the more millionaire phone numbers I get, the more successful we get. It's just, I don't know why it works like that. But Avery, for you, put some money away to the side, not just for subject twos, but for investing only. I don't know why it works, but if you put money aside, it's almost like opportunity is drawn to that capital. So you can say, okay, I got 20, let's roll. Boom. I got 10, let's roll. Boom. I got 15. Put some money aside, my friend. I don't want you doing these deals with no money because, Avery, you're going to have to do some repairs. Even if you sell it on a lease option, you don't know what type of repairs you're going to have to do. Bernard, do you do subject twos with house that needs repairs? If so, how do you handle these and what do the numbers look like? Bernard, good question. Where you at, dog? So generally speaking, I try to do as minimum amount of repairs as I can. You guys know that if you follow my content, I try to say we don't do repairs, right? But in the actuality, if you have a bad roof or if a toilet leaks and it messes up the floor, or if you've got a leaky faucet, if you've got a leaky sink, drain line and it messes up the bottom of the cabinet going in under the house, at the end of the day, or you got a window that's leaking or siding, you can try to push that off, but the burden ultimately is on the person that holds the deed. So the occupant can move, right? But ultimately it's up to you. But I try to do as minimum. I'll do big stuff, roof, central heating in there, some minor plumbing and electrical, but I'm trying not to do any of that. Tony, what's up? What is your preferred method of insuring the property? What is my favorite way to attract sales? Insurance, I think I just went over that. I just get a policy. I put them on the back. They're additionally insured. And that's how I do insurance with that. It depends. Like if I'm going to be honest with you, right? So I have my home here. We'll just keep a policy just in my name. So I don't even have to claim the policy that's in the seller's name. Favorite way to attract sellers? Pre-foreclosures, inherited properties, pre-foreclosures. I love it. I love it. Joseph, what's up? Damn, back with my. What up, Joseph? That's a nice picture. Oh yeah, that was old. That's the old picture. Aurora, California. That is cool. My brother's out there in the Springs. When I look at Paula, maybe it's Paul, I don't know. When I look at pre-foreclosures, the county list shows a pre-sale list and then an amended pre-sale list. Do you know which I should be using as my lead list? I do not. I would probably say the amended list. Sierra's Luxury. Thank you for the knowledge you have given us. Did I know Envy? Yes, that's right. I used to work with Envy. Envy and I used to be in the studio together many, many, many moons ago, cranking out beats. So crazy you ask. Good old Envy, Rashawn. I used to be in the studio with this brother, man. You talking about a laser-focused gentleman. Envy. Brother didn't smile. I never seen him really do too much laughing. He come in there, bang out. We used to, Kris Haskins. He'd come in there just making beats, making tracks for different artists. I remember he came in the studio one day. He had just come from Teddy's studio. He had this DAT from Jay-Z and Blackstreet. Just some amazing audio. Hopefully I can find that DAT. Wendell, can you explain how the warranty deed to trustee works during closing? For instance, who signs the document? We don't use the warranty deed to trustee at closing. We get a new deed. Warranty deed to trustee is only when you're transferring a house from your name into the trust. I would only use those if you own the property. But Wendell, just get the title company to do your own deed. Don't even be creating deeds. But the seller, who signs the document, whoever currently owns the house signs the deed. They're deeding it to the new buyer. Francisco, open owner wants to near resale price. I'm cool with that and has 50% equity. Oh no, I'm not cool with that. How much do you think I should give them cash outside of the reinstatement? What is the reinstatement? Oh, it depends. Yeah, I would try to give them something if you can. I try to give them something. What? Oh man, Mr. H. I mean, my brother Ross. Leona. Number 1, San Fran. Should the beneficiary of the land trust be different for each land trust, or can it be the same LLC? Same. I would use the same beneficiary. Can I do a subject to on a reverse mortgage? No, you cannot do a subject to on a reverse mortgage. You can do it, but it ain't going to last. They have inspectors inspecting those deeds. It ain't going to last. As soon as that title transfers, they want their money. Don't do it. Don't do it. Bay Area real estate today. We don't use attorneys for closings here. We use title company. Okay. Can the audio be purchased? Yes. Go ahead and use. You guys are killing me. Use coupon. Look below. Use the coupon code kris at my website for the negotiating audio. Okay. Just go over to my website. You can get that. Well, you know what? You can have that for 50% off. Let me do that. Let me change this. This should be 50% off. Y'all killing me. 50% off. For my negotiating audio. You use the coupon code KRIS for 50% off the negotiating audio. Today only. I'm done. I'm messing with y'all. Behind the lens. Hey, Kris, I would love to see you get interviewed on a great show. Earn Your Leisure. Very solid and informative. I'll reach out to him. I think I've seen that before. Where's my pen? Earn Your Leisure. I'll look into that. Earn Your LEISUR interview. This is good stuff, Roundup. Thank you so much. I'm not going anywhere. If you're just joining us, though, we're going over subject 2, how to close a subject 2 real estate transaction. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Like the content. Let's keep going with Q&A. My favorite time of the day, Q&A. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he's got it here. Long occupied house. King Edward, thanks for the gems. New Orleans, nice. What a land trust is called in Louisiana. I don't know if it's not a land trust, just use the grantor revocable trust. What was it? Revocable grantor trust. Sorry about that. Same thing, my friend. Kenneth, Chris, would you rather do a wrap for a seller looking to get another house? Absolutely, Kenneth. Matter of fact, later today, I've got a video where I interviewed Ron LeGrand talking about this same topic for about 10 minutes. He went over that. So we're going to do subject to versus using a wrap note. Okay. So you'll get that later today. Ron, does both husband and wife? Oh, we did that one. Yes. Have to sign the sub 2 form if they're both on title. Absolutely. They both have to sign, my friend. Philip, what if the back payments on a pre-foreclosure are over $100K? Who makes up the payments? That all depends. I think Rosanna asked that earlier. What we do, if it's a lot and it's enough to make the deal work, I'll chomp away at it, or I'll keep the arrears where they are and just start making the payments at that time. Need the proof of funds letter. Do I also have a letter of intent doc? I do have one of those. I can give you one of those. Thank you, Mark, for your love offering, my friend. Chris, you call it a down payment or non-refundable option consideration? Absolutely, Nikhil. Oh, which one do I call it? Okay, good question. So when you're advertising to the general, two trains of thinking. When you're advertising to the general public, you need, or public, depending on who you are, you need to advertise layman's terms, rent to own, no bank qualifying, down payment. What else? Bad credit, okay. You need to use layman's terms. I try to boil it down. However, when we do the paperwork, Nikhil, that's when we put down the non-refundable option fee or consideration. Yes, we do not speak those terms generally to the public. We do that when we fill out paperwork. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you. The wrap shows next. That's right. James, what's up? Oh, man. Richmond's in the building. Brian Knight. Can you section 8 a subject 2? Absolutely. You can. Are there any books on subject 2? I just got a whole bunch of courses from years ago. And what I'll do is I'll give you the link. You get that discount from Ron LeGrand stuff too. Bay Area. Thank you so much for your love offering, Virginia Beach. About the Bible. Thank you for supporting me. Back announcement. Is there any that I can get a hard copy? Yeah, you have to get the hard copy. Email me and we'll see what I can do for you, my friend, because I got to pay for those hard copies, but it's not even available anymore. Golden Butterfly, can I please extend the sale through till tomorrow? Oh, and Jesus. Let me see what I can do. You guys beating me up. Once again, you're beating me up. I still love you, though. I love you. Round up. Get your docs below. Use the coupon code KRIS if you just want the negotiating audio, or sub 2 if you need the doc packet. If an owner wants near retail, I thought we went over that. Equity, how much do you give them cash? I don't know. I would have to know how much they owe. I need to know how much is the arrears, Francisco? I don't know, my friend. Paula, or are these steps correct? Market, find motivated seller. That's right. Michael, also, how can you be sure the seller doesn't sell their house from under you? Does the deed switch to your name at the county or state record? Yes, sir. Absolutely. Michael, there is no difference from buying a house subject to than buying it cash or buying it with a loan. There's no difference other than the loan stays in place. So you're going to get a general warranty deed or whatever deed your state uses. Okay, Michael? Nothing is different. So what we have done is mixed up money and houses. Got to unlink them in your mind. You can sell a house, sell it. Owner buyer with that same loan. Okay, rewind your tape. You'll see that in the video. Kurt, so the best properties have no equity. Am I right? I don't want to say no equity. Try to get some equity, 20, 30,000. but the most motivated sellers are going to have the least amount of equity. And I don't want to say the least amount. They're going to have problems with their loan, right? MR6 is a short sale the offset, or what is the fallout of doing a short sale versus subject to for the seller? Huge difference, MRM. Or is that Mr.? Huge difference. The short sale is where the bank takes a discount. The subject to, I'm sorry, and let me stay there. The short sale, the lender is gone. Take a discount, they're gone. On a subject to, the lender stays in place. We just make the loan payments, okay? That's it. That's right. There you go. Settle's gone. Mike, hey, Chris, do you have any contracts recommend to replace some wood underneath contractors? I guess I do have some guys. I don't know where you are, though. Mark, you need the code for the audio. Code is Chris, my friend. The discount code for the negotiating audio is going to be KRIS. Jamon. Oh, he's talking ultimate bargains. Kurt, what up? So when buying a regular house, you put the mortgage in your personal name. And so, okay, when buying a regular house, what is the regular house? You put the mortgage in your personal name and then deed into the land trust. Absolutely. That's what we do. Denise, sorry. LA, do the closing attorney take care of the deed finalization forms? Yes, they take care of the finalization forms. Doyo, I think where do we get my leads? You can PropStream is fine all around. To be honest with you, Doyo, I get a lot of referrals now. We get tons of referrals, and we use social media as well as PropStream shit. All that. The pre-foreclosures, they're publicized. Paula, Colorado, do you perform the title search before signing the purchase and sale agreement and authorization to release? Absolutely not. You need to just get your authorization and your contract first. See, the title company probably won't do a title search where they can until you turn in that paperwork. So get that done after you get your contract. Wanda, do I use a land trust or grantor? We use a land trust here in Virginia, but they're the same thing. Stijinga, new insurance policy with seller include on policy. Do you recommend staying with same insurance company? I don't. I don't know if I necessarily recommend it or not. It could get kind of nasty, but I just close that one out and get a new one from another company. I'll be gone. How do you get the phone numbers of homeowners in pre-foreclosure? You can skip trace them. Very simple. Go to Fiverr. Oscar, can you use your substitute documents in any state? Oscar, any state, my friend. This works in all 50 states round up. If you're just joining us, we're going over our subject, how to buy houses subject to. You can get your docs below. And if you want my negotiating audio, I'm giving you a discount, 50% on both of them, my friend. Both of them are round up families. I love you guys. Kurt, so what stage do you figure out if the title has any issues like a reverse mortgage? That you won't know. Remember, Kurt, we talked about the terms of the loan. You have to know what type of loan you're buying. So you'll find that out when you do the title search. Okay. Paula, how can go over sub 2 steps? Unfortunately, I just rewind the video. You can get that. I get stuck. Yeah, you can do that at the when contact the foreclosure attorney. Title search. Yeah, we got that at the just rewind. L, what up, L? How you doing, my friend? Illinois, up north. Francisco, if an owner wants to near retail, are you putting the same question? I don't know how much you need to tell me, Francisco, how much the arrears are. You're not telling me how much the arrears are. 30 to 50% equity. How much do I know? How do you know how much to give them? You don't know. I won't know until you tell me how much the arrears are. Nikki, I almost wished it would have dawned on me to try to do a subject to on my first home. Well, that's why, you grow before you can go. You got to grow before you can go. Grow before you go. Envy, yeah, he does. Yep, I need to reach out to Envy. You're right. Hanging out. Crypto crack. Interesting. Chris, I'm in the process of refinancing my loan on my primary residence, but I want to put it in a trust after it gets funded. I would recommend you to do that. Any recommendations? Just get my land trust stuff and put it in there. Put it in there, my friend. I don't think it's a big deal. Yes, I recommend you 100% to do that. We don't want to own anything in our names. After you refinance it, just get the title company to do a corrective deeding it into your land trust, and it's over. Jameson, what's in the negotiating audio? Just go to krishaskins.com and you'll see all that's listed. I'm sorry. Shoot. Y'all don't have my website? krishaskins.com. Sorry about that. I thought y'all had that. Please forgive me. That's my bad on that. So just go to krishaskins.com and you can get krishaskins.com. There you go. So you can go right there and get that audio. Mark, everyone wants to trust you. My question, what happens if the beneficiary dies? So yes, you're gonna have to have a death designation. I'm working on one of those with my attorney. So it passes on to whoever you want to be passed to, right? Because if your trustee dies, we have a successor trustee, but I need to get you something called a death designation, which I don't want to get into asset protection. I'm not an attorney, so that is a good question. I have to work on that. Jameson, can we get private money lenders to loan us smaller amounts of money, such as 5 to 10, to work out a subject to deal instead of borrowing the full amount? Yes. So the good thing about subject to, as long as you have the magic words, which will be explained to you in the Ninja Negotiating 11 audio CD series, I'm giving it to you for 50% off today. It gives you the magic words. I would much rather, when you're buying the house subject to, I would much rather just, as opposed to going out and borrowing another $100,000 to buy your house, I would much rather just take over this debt here. You've already borrowed it. I now give you the money above your equity there. Very simple conversation to make. Can you find Zillow? Can you use Zillow to find pre-foreclosures? Absolutely. Nothing's going to be 100% perfect. PropStream, you can find them too. Absolutely, you can do that. What are you saying? You can negotiate to add the missed back payments onto the balance owed. That's what you can do that. You're right. Russell Cross, what's up, Russ? If a seller filed Chapter 13 and it was dismissed, can you still do a subject to? Absolutely. Do it all the time. I don't know. Sub 2, no recourse wraps. All inclusive trustee seller has recourse. That's true. That is true. Chauncey, what's up, my friend? What are some of your marketing strategies on finding a tenant buyer in a different state? I just picked up my first contract this morning. Praise God, Chauncey. I'm excited for you. Well, you're going to have to get either, obviously, the internet. I don't see a problem with that. Man, Facebook Marketplace is booming. I still use Craigslist. And matter of fact, I just started using Zillow. You can list the house on Zillow for rent to own. I'm getting a ton of leads from that. I would just start there, my friend. Since you're not in the town to put the signs up, the rent to own signs, start there. Kenny, the trust document is not to be shown to the title company, just the deed. Yes. Trust document gets shown only to the title company, my friend. Randy, what about buying with a wrap? Yes, you can do that. Michael, you're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. Denise, do I file the deed with the state or do I hold on to it? No, the title company or attorney files the deed for you. Okay. They're going to file that deed at the courthouse, recording it as you, naming you or your trust. I recommend the new owner. Okay. So you have them as you get them to record all that stuff. Ultimate bargains. Let's do the sharp. You're welcome. Oh, incredible concept. You're welcome. In Florida, CDL studying made simple. Is Florida land trust or revocable? I know for a fact that Florida is a land trust state. Just tried using your code KRIS, but it did not work. You have to use KRIS at the negotiating audio. KRIS is not going to. Oh, did it not work there too? Okay, let me make sure it's working. Hold tight. Edit active. Yeah, it's working here. Make sure. Hold tight. Somebody check to see if the negotiating audio is not working on here. You messing with me? Hold on a second. I like to mess with me. Order here. Oh, it isn't working. Oh, you know what? Shoot, thank you. I forgot to make it active on that product. Good Lord. Sorry about that. Negotiating bow. Sorry about that. See, I'll give discounts and then they'll have it. People be going to get everything. I can't. Sorry about that. Thank you, Paula, for bringing that to my attention. Okay, there you go. Should be good to go. Let's see if it's working now. Negotiating audio. Boom, boom. Coupon code kris. Yes, there you go. All right. Half price. Paula, how owe you one on that one? Thank you. Okay, Francisco, 10,000 reinstatement. Absolutely. If you got 50%, I would give him probably 10 grand. But Francisco, I don't want you making offers to sellers. I want you to ask them, how much money do you need to do this deal? You owe 100,000. You got 10,000 in arrears. It's worth 200,000. How much do you need to make this thing work? If they don't want to tell you, man, that's going to be rough. I try not to ever make an offer, but say, listen, I can give you between 5 and 10 grand. Because either way, you're getting the smoking deal, taking over the debt subject too. Okay, you can always do better deals when you take over the debt subject too. You can always give them a better offer. Michael, when switch insurance, how does that work when the seller is an escrow included in the mortgage payment? I thought we didn't want banks aware. Yeah, they don't care. You're going to call the bank up, give them the new policy, and then matter of fact, you don't even have when you call the insurance company, Michael, that's a good question. When you call the insurance company and add the new policy and give them, let me tell you how I found out about this. What happened to me, I bought a house subject to, right? The people were behind in the insurance, like, I don't know how much. So I'm like, I don't want to bring this insurance current too. So what happened was the lender they added escrowing the insurance to the loan. Okay. So I canceled that policy, got a new policy. When I got the policy, I added the lender to my new policy. Do you know the insurance company contacted the lender, Michael? I didn't even know. And then I got a letter saying, thank you for the new insurance policy. Your house is now insured. So the insurance company, I promise you, they will contact the lender on your behalf when you get the new policy. You don't have to worry about that, my friend. Kirk, Arizona, Phoenix. I got my people going to have a seminar out there at the end of the month. Are you familiar with using life insurance policy loans to buy property? I'm not. I got a book on that one, though. I'm not familiar. We use self-directed Roth IRAs. BXO, thank you for giving this to us. God bless you. Yes, I'm here. I'm here to pour it. Randy, is there a way to have a seller pay for buying their house subject to? That's right. We call that, here's the thing. In marketing, we call that punishment for bad behavior. Punishment for bad behavior, Randy. From time to time, say for instance, marketers have so many little gimmicks they use, right? But punishment for bad behavior. From children, we know that if we behave bad, get a punishment. If we behave say at Applebee's or say at an Outback Steakhouse, they have happy hour, right? Let me frame this up for you. Happy hour is between 6 and 7. If you don't show up between that time, you're punished by paying full price for your drinks or appetizers. So the punishment marketing strategy is kind of built in our psyche. So listen, if you're behind in payments, Mr. Seller, how much money do you have to make this deal work? How much can you bring? So yes, ask them. Ask them how much do they have. That's a great question, Randy, because you want them to bring some money to the table too if they're behind. Ralph, Jacksonville, can you open a bank account in the trust name or create a paper trail for future financing? That I do not know. I don't know. How much for coaching? Just email me. I'll give you my fees on an email, my friend. I'll give you my fees on an email. Kris, my email is krisbuyshouses@gmail.com. Can you give me an example of one of the best ways to use an option agreement? There's several ways to use them. For instance, if we have something called a flex option, if I have a deal that I don't really like, we'll do an option saying, listen, I don't even know if I can really buy this, but let me put it, I'm going to do an option. And once I do my feasibility, Kris, then I'll let you know if I want to exercise this option. So that's if you're buying. Another way, if you're buying on an option, you can say, listen, I don't know if this deal works for me, or if I can even find a tenant buyer for this house. So I just wrap it up in an option. That way, it's not where options and contracts are the same for the seller, generally speaking, but you can get out of them if you're the buyer. So I don't use them a lot buying. I usually use them selling. Okay. So when you're Kris, if you're buying with options, you got to be pretty skilled because they're not really different in terms of the commitment for the buyer, only in terms of commitment for the seller. Francisco, yeah, you're welcome. That's a good deal you got. The seller won't say a number, then say, how about $1? That's a good one. That's a good one. J Camp, what is a wrap mortgage? A wrap mortgage is nothing but the loan is in place. You're going to create another loan, wrap it over like that. Same thing. Ivan, California, is it possible to do a subject to virtually with the seller in another state without meeting them? Absolutely. I bought this house. I never met the sellers here. Or just locally in your own area. Can a California attorney complete the paperwork then? Well, I don't know. When you say out of state, you don't have to meet the seller. You don't have to meet them. Yes, ultimate bargains. You will need an attorney in the state you're buying the property in. Bay Area, thank you so much for your love offering. Thank you. Can we do a subject to without taking possession of the property and just find the tenant buyer? You can do that, but don't forget, you don't want these people looking at you for marketing a house you don't have equitable interest for, right? Or equitable interest in. So I don't know how you're going to do that. You can wholesale a subject to. You get all the docs prepared, then give them to somebody else. Yeah, absolutely. You can do that too. Mark, are you able to take advantage of tax benefits in either a land trust or a subject to? Oh yeah, that was one of the stipulations in my addendums here. Round up. Oh my Lord, I love this one. Furthermore, seller understands and agrees that that since the property is no longer legally in the seller's name, they may not depreciate the property on their federal or state income tax returns, nor claim any income tax deductions for owning the property, including but not limited to interest, property tax, etc., etc. So the benefits are all yours once you buy the house subject to, okay? But the land trust doesn't get any of that stuff. The land trust is a pass-through entity that goes through to your LLC or your social, okay? Take advantage of my discount rounduppers. I'm giving you my audio, my negotiating audio, and I'm giving you my subject to document packet. Both for half price. Why? Because I love you. It's my first time doing one of these classes too. Okay, Mark, are you able to take? Oh, we did that already. CDL studying. Kris, a corporation has more protection than an LLC, right? How about putting a house in my corporation name? I don't know about that. Unfortunately, CDL, I'm not an attorney. All I know is about using land trust and then having the thing is the land trust is on title. Then you can always have your corporation as the beneficiary of that title, my friend. So it will be up to you. Denise, can you put the Ron with Grand info on the link? Okay, yeah, I'll do that. He's going to give me matter of fact, Ron will be giving me my roundup crew an extension on that discount. It won't be $250 for the summit in Vegas, but it will be a discount, and I will know that hopefully by the end of the day. Kurt, can you describe your last subject to deal and what's the deal with the Phoenix seminar? Oh yeah, that's going to be my people, the Wolves. My last subject to deal, I wholesaled it, right? We got it all under contract and just flipped it over. It was a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. My contractor turned it into a 3-bedroom, 2 bath. I mean, the people were behind 2 months. Payment was $680 something. Rent $800 wasn't. I should have done a case study on that. As a matter of fact, we just put one under contract last week. Guy signed a contract. I mean, he's $10,000 in arrears. Usually, your subject to people might be in a little arrears. Al, I already have your sub 2 docs, but I'm trying to get your ninja negotiating without purchasing. Yep, just use the coupon code. If you look right below the link for the sub 2, you can get my negotiating audio for half price 2. Just use the coupon code Kris. That'll be good to the end of the day. Oh man, we're done. Round up. Praise God. We made it. We made it. Round up. Thank you for joining us today. This has been an awesome experience. It's been an awesome experience. Join us. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like the content. Join us in the unconventional way of buying houses. Join us in the unconventional way. My round-uppers, stop worrying about the banks. When we buy houses subject to, you don't even have to qualify for the loan. All we're doing is taking over the loan that's already in place. And there is some magic words that the negotiating audio will walk you down. And I didn't even think about giving this. So if you can go ahead and get that below too. It's half price today. Use the coupon code kris. But don't be going in there and talking about, well, we're going to buy your house subject to. Please, I'm begging you, don't talk to a seller about subject to. You're going to go way over their head. All they want to know is if you're going to make the payments. Okay. Listen, it's been great. Wow, almost 2 hours. Round up, subscribe. I will be back. What do we got going on? We got our registry for the babies at Walmart, Amazon, and Target. We've got Ron LeGrand seminar coming up. Jay Connor, his discount is going to be good until Friday night. Make sure you head up, get his private money system. He's going to give you 2 free tickets to his private money event at the end of February. All right, that's all I got for you, Roundup. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.